I fill up by the time, like 30 minutes. Which is great because I have 59 minutes on this recording.
Thank you very much. I want to hear a little bit more. I don't want to be too presumptuous. Thank you for this evening.
Thank you!
She wasn't the girl. She'd be his wife, would make her. A surprise on the way, any day. One birthday, little good man, dripping baby. A wise man came, he made the way to show him we love while he lay in the hay. Saw him with After very much of his childhood was young, kept his mother Mary worried always out on him. Met another Mary who for reasonable fee, less than reputable, was known to be someplace where love is home. When Jesus Christ was nailed to his tree, he said, no, I can see how this would be. I came to shed a little light on this darkened sea. Instead I fear and spill the blood of our children all alive. The blood of our children all alive. The blood of our children all alive. So I'm told, so the story goes, the people in you were less than golden hearted. Gamblers and robbers, drinkers and jokers, soul searchers like you and me. Rumors insisted soon would be for his deviations taken into custody by the authorities, lesser food than we, keepers and jokers, all children all around. Love of all the children all around. Love of all the children all around. Father up above, why in all this hatred? Do you fill us up with love? Blood of our children all around.
Live from Connecticut, it's your boy, Concert Viz 34. We got a special show tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. And there's some things that have happened. We're going to talk a lot about posters today, but the main thing that we want to just give an update on in the world of music are some updates to this next week, the last week of December, between Christmas and New Year's. And first, what we want to do is we want to go to the world of Fish, because they are a band that, are like DMB is beloved for the unique set list, for their crazy following. And what happened here is Fish officially announced today that they are postponing pretty much their New Year's Eve run of shows and moving them to April. And initially, earlier this week, New York mayor was like, people were concerned, hey, are we going to have shows in New York City? And the mayor's like, hey, we got Billy Joel today. Bread's got to be made. Money is the motive, right? We got to get these shows rolling. But Fish has made a decision, like many other acts, to either postpone or delay shows. And Fish said this today. This is their official announcement. It says, with the Omicron variant of COVID-19 surging in New York City, we have made the very difficult decision to reschedule next week's run of shows at Madison Square Garden. The health and safety of Fish fans, our crew, and venue staff is paramount in our minds. While Fish has played shows this year as the pandemic continued, the variant's ability for rapid transmission is unprecedented. While we are mindful that a significant number of people travel for these shows and then return to their communities, we want to avoid accelerating transmission of the virus. Finally, even with the strictest of our tour COVID protocols, the prolonged exposure of a 4-night indoor run, plus the days of preparation and travel, to critical crew and staff considerably increases the possibility of having to shut the shows down once they've started. And ticket holders can request a refund anytime over the next 30 days beginning today if they cannot commit to the rescheduled show date. If a refund is not requested during the allotted time, tickets will be valid for the new show date. If you purchase from an authorized ticket sales channel, Ticketmaster, Fish Tickets, and a couple other ways, these ticketing partners will contact all buyers shortly with further instructions. So this is probably the biggest New Year's Eve run of shows that's going to be out. And really, this is something that is good that they're doing it now. I think it's great they're making the announcement today versus making it next week. What's been happening this week for, and hello, Amy, I see you in the chat. Make sure you guys like the video and comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, but definitely like the video. That helps exposure. But what's been happening is there's been some games, especially like in hockey, people are driving down to the venue. There was a Flyers fan that flew from Louisiana to Philadelphia. His wife got him the tickets. He can't afford to go again. This is his only shot. And the game was postponed hours before, and he was, out of luck. The Flyers, some of the Flyers players are going to actually get him to a game in the future. But the point is, other events like hockey games, and also there was a Olympic hockey, women's hockey showcase in St. Paul, Minnesota. 5-6 hours prior to start time, there were people in hotels looking to see the Olympic team play Canada, and it got canceled. So I think it's good that they're announcing it now so people can get refunds. They can get flight credits if they haven't flown out to New York City. So I think it's better now than later. Humphreys McGee canceled their Miami run, which I think is a bummer because I think, a lot of fans were looking to fly down to Miami where it's warmer and nice and thought, hey, it's not New York City. Maybe, Humphreys will be able to perform, but it is what it is. Matt Souden says, attending the Fenway Bowl on my B-Day next Wednesday, hoping nothing wonky happens with COVID. Hopefully that does come through. It is outdoors, which should be good. I've actually seen football, BC and UConn at Fenway. It's a unique setup. I think we may have talked about that, Matt, during the event. But that's the news with COVID. The other thing here is this show is going to be dedicated in memory of Wayne Slater. He is a journalist. He actually followed George W. Bush during the 2000 election. He's, lived in the state of Texas, pretty much that's where Todd was born. And this is a father of a beloved poster artist, Todd Slater, who passed away tragically in a car accident on Monday. So this show is dedicated to his memory. He was beloved. Wayne Slater was beloved in the community of journalists, and there's a lot of pieces on him that you can read. But he was a former Dallas Morning News Bureau chief and had some other positions as well. He was 74 years old. So Todd and the Slater family, we just want to send our condolences. We know we love your art, and we know that you're a human and you have family, and a loved one of yours has passed. And we just want to send our best wishes. Todd did post some things about his father and some old photos, and a couple of days ago. And again, we just want to, send our best wishes and thoughts and respect your privacy at this time. Again, because you are part of our family. Once you start making these DMB posters, we appreciate you as a person. So we just wish you the best. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring in my homie, one of the DMB OGs who has shown me the ways of the history of this band. He's got me recordings and taught me some of the various eras and really been a nice, he calls me his father, but we're too close in age. He's like a big brother. Okay. He's like my Kanye and I'm Big Sean, but he actually pays me my masters. Okay. So we're going to bring in Mr. John Dixon. We're going to talk some posters.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you. First off, I want to start off by saying, thank you for having me on the platform. I also want to give you your props as the leading voice in this community, the most consistent voice in this community as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And what we're going to do here.
I'm hearing some echo. Do you hear echo?
I don't.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, let me know if anyone in the chat, if you guys hear an echo. I think this did happen once. But shout out to John Dix.
Boss. Ricky Rouse.
We got to give him some of the effects there. So let's pull up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this year in posters, and I have a little PowerPoint presentation that we're gonna look at. Before we get to this, John, just give us some thoughts overall 2021 for posters. What do you think about this year in posters?
Overall, I feel this was kind of a disappointing year as far as posters. When I was looking back on it last week or the week before when we had our conversation about what the top 10 was, it was kind of difficult to pick a top 10. After I got past like 4 and 5, I was like, wow, none of these are really like, I have to have this or grail type material. I think the only grails there are this year is probably MSG Night 1, MSG Night 2, and probably the Triptych maybe, and maybe that Mansfield Mumford. But I don't think that Mansfield Mumford is considered a grail.
Gotcha. And give us just a little backstory about your poster collection, your history of grabbing posters at DMB shows.
So I've been going to shows, as you know, since '03, but I didn't get into posters until 2018. I went to the Atlanta show 2018. I really liked that design of that poster. It was a methane poster, and I picked it up. And then ever since then, man, I've been kind of like hooked on the posters. I kind of wish I'd never got into it because it's a like anything else, man. It's more about the thrill of the chase now. I don't mean like I have my closet is full of tubes now, and I've gone back and collected some posters from shows that I went to in the past, but for me, man, now it's just about the thrill of the chase, man. I don't even know. Sometimes I think about it, like, why am I even doing this sometimes? But like anything else, man, just got to keep going, keep doing it. I can't even explain why I do it now.
Gotcha. And it's quickly becoming something that I'm getting a little more hooked on, but I still hold my wallet tight for some of these posters. They got to really impress me here. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to get some feedback from John from the major venues. So the major venues are for this year, right? Obviously, there's no Alpine. It was a unique year. But we have Deer Creek, we have Gorge, we have SPAC, and Madison Square Garden. I'm going to run through these slides and just ask John to go over some things here. So first, we're going to go to Deer Creek Night 1. What did you think about this poster here?
I love this poster. This was probably one of my favorites of the year. I like the Freddy Krueger type design of it. I like the way the flowers are coming out of the mouth. And it's a little bit different for Deer Creek. Usually a Deer Creek poster usually has something, outdoorsy or something dealing with like the Sea of Noblesville. But I really like this one. This one gave me a good like Halloween type vibe as well. It was a little different. It had a little bit of a horror feel to it. So I love this poster. And for a methane, it's great for a methane in 2021.
Absolutely. And this was one of the good methanes. There were some, not so good methanes, but this is one of their best ones of the year. And then next we have Deer Creek Night 2. So you were at these shows. What did you think when you saw your alert on your phone that this was the poster?
Did not care. Did not like it. Did I buy it? Yes, I did. But I didn't stand in line for it. I had someone else buy it for me. No, I take that back. I didn't stand in line for night 1. I did stand in line for night 2 for this one. So yeah, I still stood in line for like 2 hours maybe and got it. But yeah, I did not like this poster at all. It'll probably never get framed.
All right. And the next one here, we're going to go over the Gorge Nights, and that's us chilling. That nice spot you and your squad got and saved me a seat. But so this is the Methane Night 1 Gorge poster. What'd you think of this one?
Disappointing. This poster, disappointing. I was so disappointed. I was disappointed with the Gorge. Other than the only thing that saved the Gorge posters was the Triptych. But yeah, none of the show posters from the Gorge, man, they were all disappointing. None of them really stood out to me. None of them really had anything related to the gorge. Like when I look at this poster, I don't think of the gorge. I don't think of Washington. I don't think of like the landscape or anything like that. So I don't. It's kind of like they just had like a random design and just slapped the gorge night one on it, basically.
Absolutely. And I've expressed this if you guys follow me on Instagram, but my biggest issue is this is one of the most scenic venues that you're going to get in the tour, along with, Alpine. If they play Red Rocks, but really Fiddlers is beautiful outside of, when you leave that venue in the mountains. But this looks nothing like the sub desert of the gorge. This looks like this should have been at Deer Creek, or it should have been somewhere else where there's actually woods. That's what I was most offended by this poster. They dropped the ball to have scenery exactly opposite of what it looks like. And again, it just wasn't appealing to me as I, walked into the venue and, it's like, all right, what is the poster? This was like, nah, it's not worth it. So Gorge night one methane. Yeah, I agree. It was a missed opportunity. We're going to go to night two. This is the Sang Dragon. What'd you think of this one?
I'm not a fan of Sang at all. I don't like any of the Sang posters. This one was a dud for me as well. Did not like it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Sang at all. Like none of his posters stand out to me. They all kind of have that same kind of vibe to them. But this, like we said for night one, this did not invoke the gorge to me.
Yeah, it has. It kind of looks like that's the Columbia River, but
Mhm.
it's almost like they heard us complaining about night one. It's like, hey, we need something that references the scene, and we sent back. We gave night one an F, and we told night two, hey, you can redo the assignment. So they put the Columbia River right there, and then everything else is just trolling. Right? You have a dragon. The way his prints are, where it's a little more of like a blurry, what is it, like abstract type of thing. I've never been a fan of that. And again, it's just like this poster. Every time I look at it, I'm like, wait, I need to fix the resolution on my phone or on my computer. And again, just a missed opportunity. This is the Saturday night. This is where we had a Gorge Sperry where you're texting me, hey, see if you can get the poster, right? Can you in 2019, he was like, hey, can you get one? Or hey, you could get it, keep it yourself, Marcus, or flip it. And here we go. I get an alert on my phone and I'm like, okay, I'm tailgating longer. I'm not going to line up for this. It's
And the
disappointing.
print itself, the print work on that poster is not good at all either.
Gotcha. And you actually saw this, right? Because you were in there early for the triptych.
I bought it. I bought every poster. I went to 15
I
shows.
forgot.
I bought every poster this year,
That's true. He has 15 posters.
plus the triptych, and
So you
I
have
have
it.
I have the three tour poster variants as well.
Whew. Hit up your boy John if you guys are looking for if you actually like this poster and got $1,000 minimum, he'll flip it he'll flip it to you, right?
You know, I'll flip it.
All right, so we're gonna go to night three,
The
and
worst.
we'll get to the triptych later after we go over. I have that saved for towards the end. But so Gorge night three, we have Mr. Quack, right? What did you think of this one?
That's probably one of the worst posters of the tour.
What about it?
It, like I said before, like it doesn't scream gorge to me. I don't like any of the Quack designs. Like I have the if I can show you here on my well, I can't really show you, but can you see that? The Nashville hot chicken right there.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Let's
Yeah.
put you up here. We're gonna put you up here
Yeah.
so people can see that.
Yes, I have the Nashville hot chicken there. But as far as any of the other posters he's done, I have not liked them. Yeah, I just did not care for the poster at all. Like I didn't like it. The Gorge was just a disappointment poster wise for me.
Absolutely. And then again, the biggest thing I like is with Gorge or anywhere that's scenic, actually reflect the scenery. We have trees, right? Outside of some of the winery, Cave B, where their property line meets the gorge at the parking lot. That's the only place there's trees out here. at the wineries property lines, and that's pretty much it. So it's like there's no trees. If you've never been to the gorge, it's sub desert. It's like I call it Las Vegas North. It's really the a northern desert that blends into the woods of timber woods of Oregon and Idaho's woods and forests. So there's no forest. It's a tiger, but like there's nothing that references the gorge. It doesn't feel like the gorge. And to me, it was a missed opportunity. But overall, again, what I think is the biggest room for improvement with the band is taking a look at the scenery, adding a DMB logo or animal, and most of the posters should have a scenery from the area, a DMB logo, and put it together like that. Don't overdo it. Don't try to do this abstract crap except a couple times a year, and just less is more. Less is definitely more here. So we're gonna go to SPAC here. So we have SPAC Night 1. What'd you think of this?
I didn't really care for it either. I didn't care for it. It didn't really move me. It's another Methane. Methane had like 16, had like almost half the tour this year. So, I mean, we already kind of knew what we were going to get into before the year even started, because they were doing that whole you can pre-buy the posters before the tour even started.
Yep.
So we already knew that we were going to get a lot of Methane. And Methane, I think they're just kind of, they've done so many posters. It's kind of like you're going to eventually run out of ideas. And now it's just like they're not even going for like the community or anything related to the show. They're just putting like a random design and then slapping Dave Matthews Band, the show date and title on there, and that's it.
Absolutely, yeah. So they've done a lot, and yeah, it was an odd thing to see that pre-order where you could buy every Methane poster before you knew what it was going to look like, and they had so many.
And they sold out. People bought them though.
Absolutely. But I think that the thing is, just like you said, when you become hooked on the poster buying, you just buy. It's the fear of the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Exactly.
Is really what drives a lot of these sales. Even when we say this poster is horrible, it sells out because unless it's an arena, the arena sometimes you have like a more casual fans or just a really bad print like in Irvine, one of them didn't sell out. But other than that, they sell out because in the summertime, there's a fear of missing out, or there's hey, even if I don't like this poster, I can sell it back for double its worth.
Someone will buy it. Someone will buy it.
Absolutely. So that was the Methane. And then just before we switch to the next one, do you think there's a limit on with all of these posters that have been out for DMB? They tour more than Fish or the Grateful Dead spinoff bands. Do you think the band maybe limits how many posters can have like the scenery, or how many posters can have like a fire dancer as a big part of it, or like have a big have a rhino like Slater? Do you think they do quotas on that where they limit what the artist can do?
No, I think it is once the check is cut, and then it just have it as long as they show up on the show day, printed. They could be, I don't think the band they don't care enough to have input on the posters. I know this band well enough to know that if they don't care about ticket pricing, they don't care about poster design. Let's be real here. Once the check is cut, man, in cash, they don't care, man. This is all about money, and they know that we're gonna buy them, and that's just what it is, unfortunately.
Gotcha. All right, and we got SPAC Night 2. This is Winters. What do you think about this one?
I saw that one. I was like, there's no way I'm standing in line for that. Luckily, I was gifted that poster. Someone bought it for me on the warehouse. Actually, I got both nights gifted to me through warehouse buys, because there was no way I was going to miss out on SPAC tailgate for these two sorry posters. This poster was, but you know what though? I got into the venue at 7:30, and it was already sold out, and people were like doing the poster, sell me a poster type move, So I mean, people were buying them, so it sold out. Both posters sold out before 7:30.
Gotcha. And I believe at SPAC the doors open like At
6:30.
6:30, right?
6:30. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's for a big venue like that. I was shocked to hear that. And I've been to SPAC Night 2 and 1, 2 different years. And I can't remember when they opened, but I was shocked that for that type of venue, they didn't have the doors open at 6, especially for the pit. People and just people in the lawn. The lawn area is as you probably know, taking tour years, 19 and 21. That lawn, you have to fight for those spots. So you would think they would get them in early, get them liquored up in the venue. So it's kind of odd. I
Yeah.
just see.
Every venue, has their own weird rules, and every venue, like I said, I did 15 shows this year, and I had 15 different experiences at every venue I went to. So,
Gotcha.
or just getting into the show.
All right, and then we have MSG Night 1. What do you think of this one?
Oh, this one's a banger right here. This is probably one of my top posters of the year. I think this may have been number 1 or 2. But this was a great tour poster from Slater, which I think this was his only poster this year, correct?
Yes, this is the only one.
Yeah, and I know he did one for Foo Fighters that everybody was hoping was going to be a DMB one, and he did one for, I want to say, Stones that never materialized, that people were clamoring for as well. But of the 3 posters, I think this one's the best one from the Foo Fighters, Stones, and DMB that he did this year, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Yep, and I'm pulling that up right now. That's a good catch because I think it was during when we were at Mohegan Sun, he teased the Foo Fighters poster. Or let me see. I'm pulling back his tweets. Oh no, this was at the Gorge. So because it was, or let me see. Actually, this was the Foo Fighters one.
Yeah,
This was
that's what everyone wanted. Yeah,
August 7th. Oh no, so August 7th. Let me just look at. Yeah, it was August 7th. But he took
and
a
that would
little
have been
bit.
great if they would have had the Durant, Oklahoma show. That would have been a great poster for Durant, Oklahoma.
Right. Oh, absolutely. With the yeah, because the Native American, and maybe there was who, for all we know, he could have had with those cancellations. It could have been he could have had one, or another big artist could have had it for Durant.
Yeah.
Given those were sold out shows that were destination, type shows where people were going to them. Then we have MSG Night 2, and save a little bit of this for because this is going to be in your rankings. We'll just spoiler alert. But what'd you think of this one?
Loved it. Plus, it's very valuable. It's going for a high dollar too. So
yeah,
it's
we'll get into that as well. So it is going for a lot. We have some stats for that.
Yeah, it's a nice poster.
So now here we got John. So he was on John. We had him on a couple of times this year. He met Robert Randolph in the pit line.
Which you should have been there. You should have been
there. Yes,
there.
I should have been there. I was sleeping in and said I didn't want to commit to picking you up early, but hey, it is what it is.
Sucker S.
Yeah. And this poster, now just explain, because I know sometimes people see a poster like this and they start hating. They want to call you out for hoarding. So explain these 3 posters to us. Like, so when someone sees you like this, why do you have 3 poster tubes at a show?
So what I'll do is in this particular show, one of the posters is mine, and the 2 other ones I picked up for friends. So what I usually do is I'll tell somebody in line, "Hey, will you grab a poster if you're not going to buy one? Will you pick me up a poster?" Because I have I got 2 or 3 credit cards on me when I go to shows, and I just let the person hold my credit card, and then I just give them to my friends who are out tailgating or who couldn't get into the show on time. So I don't mind doing that because they always hook me up with stuff too. So it's kind of like a pay it forward type thing. And you'd be surprised how much how many good graces I've gotten into just by doing stuff like this. As you tell, when I was at MSG Night 2, I wound up in the front row behind the pit, and that just from years of just having great relationships with people and just being a good guy.
Yes, sir. I was looking at people's necks, like 19 rows behind you, and you're in the second. You're in the second row.
Front
Last
row,
minute.
front row, front
Oh,
row.
front
Don't
row
play me.
behind the
Front
pit.
row.
Yeah,
Yeah, front
yes,
row.
my fault, my fault.
Yeah,
Front row.
no. We don't.
Excuse me.
Front row.
John Dix doesn't do row two.
No, no.
So you were front row for that, and but when we left the hotel, you didn't know where you were going, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
But
didn't know if I was gonna get in the show. Remember,
right, yeah,
I was a little nervous.
yeah,
But look
yeah,
at God.
yeah. Look at God. Praise Jesus.
But yeah, people do hate when they see you with a lot of posters, though. They think you're hoarding
Yeah,
and you're gonna scout. But that's never the case with me. I've never scalped a poster actually.
gotcha. And hello, Bruno. I see Bruno's coming. Thanks you for checking the stream out, and thanks for joining us. And so now we're gonna go through your top 10 posters. These are posters John picked, just to let you know that I didn't pick these in order. I wanted to use his expertise. So this one is Irvine Night 1 by Monk 1. So why was this number 10?
I just like the design. I like any poster that got like a skeleton in it. Those are always some of my favorite posters, like Pensacola 2019 or Minnesota 2018 or the Innings Festival. Any posters got like a skeleton in it, I'm always on top of that. I wasn't at this show. I only collect another note is I only collect posters to shows I go to. So this poster is not in my collection, but I do love this poster. And if I was at this show, this would have been a destination type poster for me. Far as like I would have to have it.
Okay. And this one, it's gone down between when it came out in November 27th here, and average 6-month average $124. We're gonna skip to Chicago. I think this is Angelina Jolie. That's what I call this poster. I'm like, yo, that's Angelina Jolie. She's chilling, trying to holler at you before the show. So number 9, why'd you pick this one for number 9?
I just like the design of it. I like the lady on it. It kind of gave me a little bit of a like a Sperry, like a bootleg Sperry feel to it. Sperry has a lady in his posters, so I felt like this was kind of like like a bootleg Sperry feel to the poster, and I like the design. I think it really speaks to me. I like it.
Gotcha. And this was from Chicago.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Chicago, but it's dope.
Yeah, and this one is interesting because they had a run of 1,285. And this was a show where you had some concerns of rain and wind. So I'm interested to see how people got these posters, how they protected them, because there was a bad thunderstorm. I know you have your poster too, but it'd be interesting to see how the weather may have played a part in people going to the show and getting the poster. And we have number 8, Clarkson, Michigan. We're going to stay in the Midwest. Paul Kreisenbeck. Why was this number 8?
I really like that lighthouse on it. It had like a dreamy, like a Sleep to Dream Her feel to it to me. Mm-hmm. And so it just kind of reminded me of like Sleep to Dream Her, kind of like a dream sequence. I love the lighthouse on it. It's very whimsical, and it kind of reminds me of like early DMB lyrics. So I really like this poster. I would have if I went to this show, I would have bought this poster.
Gotcha. And I think this one is lower in value. This is lower than the first two, average price $103. One was sold 10 above face value. But I think it's because it was a midweek show. I think that definitely lowered it down a little bit. And but I love how, this is Michigan. This is the Detroit metro area. So you have Lake Michigan right straight ahead. So that's where this little dream house is on the lake. So I think that's what they were trying to do. That one. Number 7, Bend, Oregon, Matt Fleming.
This one actually like speaks to me. When I see this one, I think of Oregon, and I think this is probably one of the more accurate venue locale type posters that they had this year. I love this poster. If I was at this show, I would have definitely bought it. I would definitely get it framed. I'm surprised that when I saw it, I was kind of surprised. I was like, hey, this actually like fits Bend, Oregon. Like, hey, they're actually, the artist actually took in consideration the venue and the city.
Absolutely. And I actually, both times I've been to the Gorge, my first stop from the airport rental car place has been driving 2+ hours to the beach. And this is exactly what Oregon looks like inland. And you have the bend has a river running through it. I thought when I saw this poster, I was like, this is what the gorge should have had, except, obviously they would modify this for the gorge. This should have been what they tried to aim for one of the gorge nights. And the poster, this average price so far, $262. I think that's because that's what people wanted. They wanted this thing. This was a show that was, right after the gorge. So most people didn't travel unless you were West Coast bound, or a couple friends like Aria did go, but most people weren't going to this show on purpose. But the poster was amazing. And I pointed that out after on my stream, that this was just an amazing poster. It represents Oregon, literally going to Oregon. Before I even went to the gorge, that's what it looks like. Oops. All right. So the next one is the Railbird Fest in Kentucky, just north of where you live. Why did you pick this one?
Just because it's appropriate for Kentucky with the Kentucky Derby. I like the design. It had the horse on it. And so I really like that. And plus, they opened with two-step in this show, so that's also a play. But then the show went downhill after that. But still a cool poster. It's locale appropriate, so I liked it.
Yeah, and
I would have purchased it.
Yeah, and I know you didn't go. You've told me this. I would have done the same thing. You didn't go to this show because it's a festival, right? You're going to get a cookie cutter set.
And it was a nightmare, I heard, too.
Yes, there was water, and I believe that's why they played two-step. On Ants Marching, some people are saying, yeah, right. But I truly believe night one, VIP, not even the regular peasants, the VIP areas.
I trained you well.
Yeah, the VIP areas had an hour and a half, 2-hour waits for water. And shout out to Ryan S. He was in Kentucky and he was at this. He confirmed like the issues with water. There were 2-hour waits for a water fountain to fill up your bottled water, your water bottles or canteens in VIP night one. It was widely publicized. The band was probably made aware that, like, they even knew about Astroworld when we went to Mohegan. So I'm pretty sure they knew when they drove in night two, the talk around town, they were getting all sorts of water. So I truly believe that they did two-step as some sort of, hey, we know you guys have struggled. Let's bust this out, because the rest of the show was trash.
Yeah, Dave's like, I'll give you a little crumb.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about this is imagine if this was night one, because you have 515 prints, and whoever would have came in night one, or if, let's just say that it was cold night, it was raining night one, and night two, it was hot. They didn't have enough water. I really think it would have been interesting to see how this poster would have fared, or if people would have got the poster and left, because it like night from what night or day one, night one, whatever you want to call it, I heard it was brutal. That just the no water thing was an issue.
Yeah, my people said it was awful.
Gotcha, right. So you got connects up there, but 180 is the average price, 249 is the highest it's sold for, and the price just shot up since November. Maybe that's with the holidays. Some of the other posters we just looked at were going down, but this one shot up. People are looking like they're trying to buy it for Christmas. And then also, I think this shot up because the people who have methane subscriptions probably got their posters, and they were looking to sell it. That's just my best guess. So numbers 5, we were both at this show. You helped me get this poster and get through the line and find a shortcut. And glad I followed you to the front. So why'd you pick this one for number 5?
I just love this poster. Like, I love the design of it. It's really cool. I like the two lovers on the top of the car. It was just a really cool looking poster, especially for Mohegan. Loved it a lot, man. This poster will get framed and put up in the house eventually, sometime next year. But this is a cool poster. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and I remember you saying that. It's interesting that it's only 123 is the average price, given that this is kind of, methane's couple and some sort of scenic setting at nighttime is a popular thing. But
middle of the week.
Yeah, midweek show. It's Mohegan. It's not like a bigger venue.
Indoor venue.
Yeah.
And it's for methane, which is like flooded the market with posters,
Right. That's true. Right. So it wasn't
And
like
they've
a
done like 4 or 5 posters similar to this too. So it's
yeah. Oh,
not that
definitely.
it's not that it's like rare or special. I just like it because if you look at the color design, it's just like the Lexington poster that you just showed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's beautiful. And so that's the Mohegan. Number 4, we have Deer Creek Night One, another methane on the list. Why was this number 4?
Oh, like I said earlier, man, I like this poster a lot, man. It's really cool. I like the design of like the Freddy Krueger type character. It has a very horror Halloween feel to it. It's a little bit different from your typical Deer Creek poster, and I loved it a lot, man. It's a great poster for Deer Creek. I actually, this one will go up on the wall eventually at some point next year.
All right. Yeah. And I thought this was a really cool one
And that
from
poster, picture that I have like the 3 posters in my hand, I
yeah.
think that's from night one.
Oh, Deer Creek Night One. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So this one, 137.89 is the average price. And I think I mean, really, the market is showing us all these average prices. Most of them are under 200. So
Yeah.
it's again, people are like, look, these are cool posters. If I can get it at a good price, I'll get it. But I'm not spending, $800 for one poster like some of the grails have gotten in the past here. So Guilford Night 2, another methane poster. Why did you pick this one, number 3?
I like the outer space, the astronauts on it. I thought it was really cool. I would have purchased this poster if I was at this show. I really like these outer space type posters. Kind of reminded me of Blossom 2016. If you're familiar with what that poster looks like, it has like the astronaut on it as well. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I thought this poster was really cool too as well. And would have loved to have been at this show just for the poster. I don't know what the set was like, but great poster.
Yeah, I was at this show.
Oh,
We
you were?
got
Okay.
yeah, we
Did you
got
get it?
nope. And what's interesting is because what's interesting, night one, I'm gonna show you night one and some of my highlight posters that you didn't choose, but night one sold out quicker than night two. Night
Oh wow.
two, I got in the venue. I was tailgating. Shout out to Nikki G and friends. But I was tailgating. I get in. The show's about to start soon. Or actually within about 20, 30 minutes. The doors open much earlier than SPAC, all that other stuff. But the poster, there was no line and you could get it. Now how many were left, I don't know, but it didn't sell out. Now, the one thing about Guilford is up in the woods of New Hampshire. It's so they had 665. It's a smaller venue. There seemed to be more. There were a lot of fans who traveled, but there were a lot of local people that were just finding something to do. So I think this one didn't sell because it didn't have anything to do with Guilford. So unless you knew Methane or you were like a diehard fan, I think the locals just weren't so poster happy. And I went to this venue for the first Chris Stapleton show, and same thing. Now, Chris Stapleton's posters aren't as big as DMB, but same thing. There weren't many people getting posters. So I think locally, they didn't see anything that referenced New Hampshire. And it probably did sell out. I think it did sell out, but it didn't sell out right away. That's all I'll say. It didn't sell out right away. The price here, 117.67 over the 6-month average. So it is on the lower end. The lowest one went for $20 over face. So let's get to number 2. We got James Eads. Why was this number 2?
A true grail. Now this one is a true grail. Great post. Anything Eads does, it's gonna be fire. People are gonna be clamoring for it. It's gonna sell out quick. The resale is gonna be crazy on it. People are gonna be trying to waffle them off for way more than they should be. There are gonna be people with their sob stories. This is my grandma's first show. I missed the poster. This is my son's first show. Ease just brings that kind of crowd. So this one here is a true banger. I'm glad I got it in my collection. Yeah, it's a lovely poster. I love this poster. And I know a lot of people at the show asked me if I would sell it to them as well.
Oh yeah. I was in the line when they sold out. I got there early. I ran up the stairs and I still didn't get it. But I love how they incorporate. Again, not every poster has to incorporate the local venue. Just like how you pointed out the methane one with outer space, you can do some cool things. But this one captures New York City, Central Park, leading up to Madison Square Garden, and actually, um, the the fire dancer is right there at the top in the Madison Square Garden circle. So another little subtle thing. This is perfect, and I thought this was my number one of the year. I thought this was the best one of the year, personally. And as you guys see, the average price 352.32, 249 even was the lowest price, and the prices are coming back down a little bit as of December 12th. But this is still going to be a valued poster. And let's see. Yeah, there were 1,400 of these. Now, the other thing about MSG that was a little frustrating is they didn't have a poster limit. People were buying two, three posters. Now, for any other venue, if it wasn't as popular, it is what it is. But when you have a grail like this, it would have been nice if they limited it to one person per poster. There's been 78 of these sold, and a lot of these, obviously, hey, the streets got to eat. It is what it is. It's all in the game. But there's a lot of these that sold, a lot of demand, but a lot of people were buying two, where some lesser venues were only letting you buy one. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I managed to get two of night ones.
Yep. And speaking of that, drum roll, please. Number one.
The Slater Rhino. Hands down the best poster of the year, in my opinion. The only poster Slater did for the tour. I consider it a grail. It's only going to go up in value as time goes by, mainly because only a handful of people actually got them, because I bought two. The guy behind me bought five. And after that, it was just, people were just raking them up, and they sold out quick. So the thing about it was they had MSG personnel selling the posters, not DMB personnel. So the MSG cat, the kid couldn't have been older than 20. He was just there, probably making, minimum wage, whatever it is there in New York. And he was just letting them go. So I said, I need two. He said, here you go. Here's your two twos, and kept it pushing. The guy behind me saw me get two. He said, I need five, and bought five.
Wow. 5 posters?
Bought five, yeah.
That is 5. Hey, let's get.
Not mad at him. Hey, that's what we live in a capitalistic society. I'm not mad about it. Like you said, streets got to eat.
Yeah, they got to eat, right?
Everyone is food.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, it's up there too as far as the resale value. 224.35 average, 350 was the highest. And yeah, this was another one. And again, our one of our beloved artists, Todd Slater, really did his thing for this one here. What did you think about the baby inside? Some people didn't like it, or not that they didn't like it. They took a couple points off. Did you like the little rhino?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it didn't take away from the poster. I thought it was really cool.
Okay.
It kind of reminded me of, Dave was really into rhinos, but it reminded me of Ace Ventura 2. You ever seen Ace Ventura 2?
I have not.
There's a scene in Ace Ventura 2 where there's this robot rhino that he's like hiding out inside, and he comes out of its behind area, and it looks like the rhino's giving birth to a human man. So that's what it kind of reminded me of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot more funnier scene than the way I described it, for sure.
Gotcha.
You know what's really funny about the whole poster thing is when you see casuals buy posters and they want to put them in tubes, and they'll just roll them up or fold them up, put them in their pocket. Remember at Mohegan, I kept pointing out people not putting their posters in tubes, and they were just walking around with one of their armpit eating a slice of pizza.
I didn't see that. Maybe I don't remember that, but I definitely seen some people And I heard, this is what I heard allegedly. Okay, I don't want to. Somebody in the pit for the gold pour in 2016. Somebody in the pit used the gold pour to write a message on the back of and like hold up for Dave, and like the poster was not like, it was a little bit like folded.
I was at that show.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Somebody said on, this was on one of the Facebook groups or poster groups, that somebody actually had a gold pour that was a little bit folded up and they wrote a message on the back. And I'm like, yeah.
I can believe it. I can believe it. I was at that show. I should have got that poster. I did not. That's before I got crazy into posters. But yeah, I was at that show and I can believe it. Yeah, that was First Niagara Pavilion in Burgestown, wasn't it? Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, there was a lot of casuals there, so it wouldn't surprise me, man. You'd be surprised at some of the nonsense you see at shows these days.
Oh, absolutely. And what we're gonna do, it's your boy Concevitz 34. We're gonna give some of my picks, and I just picked posters that weren't highlighted in your top 10 that I thought were pretty dope. So first, this was from
Mohegan
Connecticut.
Night too.
Yeah, Mohegan Night 2, Zaz Court. And this poster, that's me on the right when I was 6.5 years old at the last Whalers game. And this was this is probably one of the biggest events in my lifetime in Hartford, Connecticut. It was the last Whalers game. The team hustled us, they finessed us, and they said, hey, you got to sell a certain amount of tickets and we'll stay. We got all these people to buy season tickets and they still left us. And this was a special game. It was a lot of spirit, and it was a day that a brother like me, none of my family played hockey, but after going to this game, I wanted to play hockey at 6.5 years old, and I did. So the Whalers logo, if you see in the middle right there, that was a special thing. Also, the pizza. If you haven't been to Connecticut, and John, I know you went to some of the pizza places.
Went to all of them.
To me, New Haven, Connecticut has the best pizza
Facts.
on this side of the Atlantic.
Facts.
Now, Italy, I have people go to Italy. I'll get there one day. Italy has the best. But John, just talk about your experience with the pizza from your concession pizza to the gourmet pizzas.
Oh, the concession pizza, we're not even going to talk about that. That's like mall pizza. But we went to the actual Frank Pepe's. It was good. Then we went to a pizza. Martin was really
a pizza. You don't pronounce the A.
A pizza, yeah. Martin was good, but then we went to Bar. Bar, like the pizza at Bar is like, I can't even find the words right now to describe it. Like pizza doesn't even taste the same anymore. Like you cannot enjoy like Domino's, Pizza Hut, chain pizza. You cannot enjoy it anymore after eating at Bar. Bar pizza is like another world. It's like it just opens your mind to a whole new level of pizza. Like nothing compares to it. Bar is like the best pizza. And I've been to New York City and had New York pizza. Bar is by far, it's like Michael Jordan versus like a rec league guy. Like it's not even a comparison.
Oh yeah, and they have the specialty pizzas. Like I know you had the mashed potato.
We had like we had 3 different pizzas there.
Yeah, and like their specialty pizzas are out of this world. And yeah, if you've been to New York and you thought pizza was good there, or Boston's another Italian city. I've been to all 3 cities. I've always lived within 2.5 hours of Boston and New York my entire life. And so I've been everywhere. But New Haven has the best pizza on this side of the Atlantic. But this is the most sentimental poster to me just because of the local stuff. I'm a Connecticut kid, born and raised. And then you have it was at a casino, so it's a slot machine with the ants. So the MVP of this year, now the reason I give it to him is because he had a couple shots and he did not. To me, he didn't miss. First, we have the triptych, which John has. And then we have the Mansfield Mumford, which looking back, I passed on this, and I agree with you. It's an amazing poster. It's not a grail, But I, looking back, I said, hey, if this is my first show of 2022, 2021, if this is what uh is this the first show I'm going to? If this is that good, the other posters are going to be fire. Because I'm like, it's Mansfield. It's a one night stand. I'm going to a bunch of 2 night stands in the Gorge. So I held off and didn't get it. And I kind of regret it. I don't think I'm going to buy it for over market value. But if I could have done it over, I would have gotten this one, knowing that this was one of the best. But talk about the triptych. Talk about your journey to get the triptych. What was it like?
To get the triptych, there really wasn't a journey for me. Because I was at the Gorge, we got there early for the pit. Well, I wasn't even in the pit. I was in lawn all 3 nights, but I got there early with friends who were in the pit, and so I really didn't have any difficulty getting any of the posters for the Gorge. I have friends who camped out all 3 days, and then they took shifts, and I just kind of blended in when it was time to get in there. That's how I met Robert Randolph at the Gorge as well. That was probably the highlight for me, was meeting Robert Randolph. No one even knew who he was. I was the only one that knew who he was. And but yeah, it wasn't difficult to get the triptych. Actually, I had no difficulty getting any poster other than MSG Night 2, which someone gave me, but I traded one of my MSG Night 1 posters for on Night 2 to my buddy Bocon. But I didn't have any issue getting any of the posters. The thing is just getting there early. If you really want the poster bad enough, just get there early, or get a friend to get there early. And then get them. I got all 15 shows plus the triptych with pretty much ease.
Now for this one, how early did you have to get to the Gorge every day to really?
Well, Dean and them got there like at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I pulled up about 2 o'clock. Doors open at 3 o'clock, so maybe an hour. But I had the advantage of having people already in line, though. Okay. It's all about networking and friendships as well.
Okay. So that makes sense. Because, I was like, oh, how'd you get – okay. And so that's interesting there. So, that's a good point. You have those connects. But Mumford, to me, did a great job. And
the triptych does speak to the Gorge, too, as well.
Right. It's a post-apocalyptic – it looks like a post-apocalyptic Gorge. Or
that really could have been the posters. They doubled up because they knew they were going to make money on them. But that really should have been the 3-night posters. I would have been content just buying those and not getting the show posters.
Oh, absolutely. Especially night 2, where you get that Gorge you get the theater.
The centerpiece.
Theater. Yeah. Those. I mean, it's just an amazing. And it really, to me, it saved the Gorge weekend for poster buyers. I think this was the thing that definitely is it's hot right now. If people are trying to get all 3, some people want the foils of all 3. But shout out to Dan Mumford. And these are 2 other ones. So the Virginia Beach one I put in here more because I think it was kind of, again, it played to the ocean theme or the ocean front of Virginia Beach, which I actually went to this year outside of the tour. So I was in Virginia Beach to visit family after I got my vaccination shot. And so I kind of know the area. My dad's from this area, is born here. So I thought this really represents the area with the under the ocean, under the sea, Little Mermaid bar. And then we have Guilford. I thought this poster was extremely underrated, because if you were at the show or if you've been to Lake Winnipesaukee, this is what this part of New Hampshire looks like. It's a beautiful lake in between the northern part of New Hampshire and the southern part of New Hampshire, which is more like there's more people down here. So this is a landmark that kind of splits civilization and kind of the upper parts where there's very little people north of this. And it's a beautiful area. And you have the guitar as the birdhouse. I thought this was an amazing poster. I was late for this show and there was a COVID delay. So by the time I got in, this was sold out. But this was a poster that I thought was beautiful. And had I got there earlier and got my wristband and all that stuff, I would have gotten this one.
Have you ever gotten to a show on time or early?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
For instance, going back for the now for this show, I was actually so early. I was in line outside of the venue and got this poster. I was like probably 20th in line. Put my
Yeah,
poster.
you got there before I did.
Yeah. So the biggest thing with venues is this. The reason I was there so early is because I didn't have a hotel room. I live in Connecticut, so I know the area, but I went to a couple parks and I didn't have anything to do. And I wanted to be in the pit. I ended up getting rail. So I do get to shows early, but a lot of shows I like to relax. And like for the Gorge, I was going hiking, right? I was going and chilling out other places and all this stuff. So all the day activities tend to take up me getting there on time. But yes, I have been late to the shows we've been to. A lot of them I've been late. MSG, I was there early as well to try to get that poster. This was Pittsburgh, and what's interesting is it kind of made me think some of the or Burgettstown, suburban Pittsburgh. This was kind of a poster I looked back at and I kind of forgot it was the poster. But again, I like how Pittsburgh is a steel town. It's a blue collar town, so you have the DMB train, and there's a fire. I think that fire represents inflation that's going on in the country, and then we ran over inflation, and now
Let's go, Brandon.
groceries are so expensive. I have to take a loan out to get food for myself. Anyway, I kind of like this poster because again, it represents Pittsburgh, that blue collar mentality, the train tracks, the mills, and the different things around there. This screams Pittsburgh to me. So that was another one, but that's my presentation. Any final thoughts about posters this year? Do you want to show off some of your collection to flex on these haters?
Nah, my grails are in the living room. I'm in the office right now. Nothing in the office. The posters in the office are not worth showing off. I just have Nashville, SPAC, and Cincinnati in here. I have a ton of tubes in the closet I haven't pulled out. I don't keep my stuff in poster heads would probably hate me because I don't put my stuff in portfolios. I just leave my stuff in the tube until I frame it because I don't plan on ever selling it. I'm just going to dry mount it anyway. So it is what it is. Maybe next year I won't buy any posters. I'm hoping not to buy any posters next year. I'm hoping to only do – I did 15 shows this year. I'm hoping only to do maybe 5 tops next year. So I won't be doing as many shows next year either. So I'm hoping to scale back a lot in 2022. So I already have my hotel booked for Alpine. So that's my favorite venue. So that's a must. And then I'll do Deer Creek. And if they do that Nashville show, that'll be it for me.
Gotcha. And the over under, for those you don't know John, right? Every year he says that he's only going to do a couple of shows. So the over under for John's shows next year is 6. Right? We're going to put it at 6. Now, obviously, you're trying to do some different things as far as travel next year. So we'll see what happens. That's your thing now. You're going to be doing some more vacations outside of the concert world, and allegedly, that's what's going to stop you. But we'll see what happens. For those of you who are here at Alpine allegedly is July 1st and 2nd, and have you heard some things about that, John?
From what I'm hearing, Alpine is Alpine, SPAC, and the Alabama show are pretty much what they're supposed to be.
Are locks. Okay.
The Alabama show, because they just built a new amphitheater, which they've already been advertising that new amphitheater, so that'd be great for DMB to open it. I won't go to that show. There's no way I'm driving to Huntsville for that. But the venue looks dope, though. It looks like almost like a Jones Beach type design. Okay. But no, I won't be going to that. But supposed to be doing Nashville. Hopefully they don't come to Nashville because the show will be a big disappointment. And I don't want to waste my time going to a local show with friends who I know the show's gonna be terrible. So like I said, Alpine. As long as I get Alpine, Deer Creek, and then maybe a random show like at Riverbend or Atlanta or something like that. That's all I plan on doing. I won't be at SPAC next year. I won't be at Gorge. And unless something crazy happens, like they say, hey, we're going to do Red Rocks for the first time since 2005, I got to be there. But
Right.
that's not going to happen. But
That's
yeah, you won't
unlikely.
see me as much this year. But we'll be hanging out at Alpine. Maybe we'll
Yes,
sit
sir.
together.
Yeah, we'll see. And
Section 202 or bust.
that's what you were telling me. And this looks like the Greek Theater and Jones Beach combined.
Yeah, it looks
And
really cool,
now
especially for
Pelham,
Alabama.
from my knowledge, there's a venue in Pelham that kind of has that double deck thing. Let me Pelham.
Yeah, but the Pelham venue is like old and it doesn't look that state of the art.
That Mississippi or Alabama? Pelham, Alabama.
Pelham's in Alabama. Mississippi is South Haven. That showed
Oh yeah,
South
that's
Haven.
what it is.
I've been to
Okay.
that one too. That venue in South Haven is really small. It's pretty intimate.
Okay, so I'm looking at this and okay, so yeah, this does look, but yeah, that looks older. Looks, yeah, but this thing looks fresh. And it
Yeah,
looks
state of the
like
art.
it really gives me that Greek theater vibe from Berkeley, where you have this floor. I'm
And
guessing
the
where we,
elevation.
yeah, in the elevation, and that's what's important to
Yeah, no
me.
bad seats.
I don't understand why more venues don't have the elevation for amphitheaters. Like they made some of these venues so flat, and they were built in the 90s. Some of these venues, like Hartford, was built in the 90s, and it's so flat. But elevation is key, and that's why I like the arena shows because now MSG, some of those seats, shout out to Trish, DMB, and some other people up there. If you didn't get your seats, John, and you were in the upper deck of MSG for a concert, it's pretty trash at the back. The back corners are pretty trash. But most arenas, if you're in that lower level at the back, or if you're at the front of the upper deck, it's still a decent view. So, all right. Well, John, we want to thank you for coming on. We're about to hit hour 15 minutes shortly, so we're going to wrap it up. But we hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll be looking to talk to you soon in the new year.
Thank you again for having me on your show, man. I really appreciate everything you're doing in this community. Like I said, you are the most consistent voice in this community as far as, podcasting and YouTube shows. And just keep up the good work, man. Start growing your channel some more. We got to get more people in here. But you're doing a great job, man. And like I said, I love your voice as far as, your opinions on the band. And you're not afraid to, say some unpopular things, too. I like that about you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You take care.
All right, be good, man. Merry Christmas.
All right. Peace. All right. So let's give it up for John. We're going to give it up for him. Let's give it up for him. And we appreciate his input. That's really all I have. Only other thing, man, like I know the holidays are an interesting time, and it's been great to see some of you guys throughout the year. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know some of you guys are watching the replay. Amy, thank you for saying it, giving your feedback as well. And Bruno and Pokey Tendo TV, and again, everyone who's watching. I just wish everyone the best. 2022 is going to be interesting. There's more uncertainty now than there was last year in some ways, not because we know we can go to concerts, but with this Omicron variant, it could be gone next month, right? Or we could have more concern, or they could say, hey, we're just going to override this and perform. But right now, I think what is tough is with these concerts, it's hard to get a test, right? I've had a couple people, family and friends, who needed to get tested to travel, or they knew somebody they were with that tested positive. And it's hard. Like it's on Sunday, there was one test within about 40 miles of me that someone had to, that like one test available this entire week on Sunday for like local urgent care or CVS, Walgreens type stuff. One test within 40 miles. And Connecticut, we're not as big as other states, so we've had better testing luck because we have so many pharmacies and all this stuff for how many people are actually here. But it was literally one test available that you could get for an appointment. Otherwise, you had to be in a long line, first come, first serve places, first thing in the morning. So it's extremely tough. I said this in another video. Next year, plan to have a vacation. If you travel to a show, plan to have a vacation set up. So if you're going to Alpine or you're going to Deer Creek or you're going to SPAC, plan a vacation that if for some reason a show is canceled, it's postponed, and you still are stuck with that hotel, find somewhere to go travel in a public place, go to a baseball game, go to a museum. Just be ready to be flexible. If that means you need to stay home, if that means you need to only go to local venues and you can't fly because financially you can't afford to have that trip be canceled, there's a lot of unknowns. I hope things get better, but we don't know. But I think one thing I've appreciated is throughout this year, being able to go to shows has been special. It hasn't stopped me from giving my opinions, like, okay, this song's trash still, but I've really appreciated the 10 shows I went to this year, the most I've ever been to. It was so much more than the actual set list, the music, the people I was with, the interactions on stage, being in the pit this year at the rail for the first time on the rail, second time in the pit. This was definitely a special year. And the last thing I'll say is there's so much going on in this world. There is so much that can stress you out, that can make you sad, that can make you depressed, that can make you angry. Um, I know a lot of you guys have things going on with your family, with your job, with your finances, with your marriage. And I really hope that you're able to find joy in music. I hope you're able to find joy in these streams. Um, I know, again, this is a tough time of year. There's some family members that aren't here at the Christmas table or the Hanukkah table or Kwanzaa table that were here last year. We have people who are struggling again with mental health issues and people who are struggling to make ends meet, and the cost of everything has gone up. So I just want to send my best to you. If you think that you are in a spot where you're not good, I always advise just get any help you can get, right? Seek whatever help you can get for the problems in your life. Because this time of year, listen, there's so many things that are tough about life. And there's so many things that you never expect to happen, and they happen and they can impact you. So please, you are not alone. Your life is valuable. If you're struggling, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So that's just what I want to say to end off, is to be well, be safe, enjoy what you can. Don't devalue your own life. Again, this is just something that I know it's tough. And I've had Christmases where someone's in the hospital or someone's, passed away, or I've had a life event that's impacted me. It can be tough, even with family, even with all these people around you, it can be tough. So hang in there, believe in yourself, take what you can for your dreams and make them as real as anything. As Dave says, the third verse of Gray Street. All right, that's all I got. We're going to end off with a song. We'll pull up another Batson Session song. And let's see, let me set that up. If you guys want to donate to help your boy upgrade his system, again, this is my Cash App is Conservis34. But definitely, if you can tell your friends, if they're DMB fans, that I to come in to join this awesome community that we have going on. Definitely hit the like button. Like I said, that helps me. And Amy, thank you. I'm glad I made your night. I'm glad I made your night. I don't take that lightly. And I do hope you have a great holiday season. Here, let's see. Set up this. All right, so we're going to end you guys off with some music. Oh, we'll do break for it here. We're gonna do that.
The start, I woke up, bang, too many ghosts in here, and I wonder, will we find peace anywhere? When you hold me, girl, it all falls far away, but only if I could always feel this way. Can't help but think that come on, let's take a ride. Come on, just you and me. Come on, let's make a break for it, baby. Let's make a place of our desire. Let's make a break for it, baby. Let's run while we can. Let's run while we can. TV's on, turn it on. There's too many lies in there. Makes me wonder, could we find the truth someday? And then you talk to me. You are the truth I need. I could walk through any door if I could always be this sure. Can't help but think that come on, let's take a ride. Come on, just you and me. Come on, let's make a break for it, baby. Let's make a life of our own design. Let's make a break for it, baby. Let's run while we can. Let's run while we can. Let's make a break for it, baby. Let's make a life of our own desire. Let's make a break for it, baby. Let's run while we can. Let's run, let's make a break for it, baby. Let's make a life of our own desires. Let's make